So welcome everyone. I'm the System. Welcome to the System Sunday Showcase, Southdale Prince Music Company. I'm here with Chris.
Hello.
Or is it Joe?
It's Chris. Joe was a joke.
Joe is a joke?
Yes.
Okay, well, we got Chavo, who goes by Hector back there, and then I'm also Drew, but I go by System, so two names are not out of the question in this
Fair
room.
enough. Anything's game then.
So I love where we went, like right before this started, where I lose focus a lot, and so being in a music store, it really like helps remind me of the questions I'm supposed to ask. So, what brings you to the music scene? What brings you to the music box, where everyone's about to be watching you in the music box?
Oh, geez. Well, just to share music. It's always something I loved to do and brings people joy. So why not? I share it around, right?
And you said you're a guitar player and you also sing,
Yep. Guitar player and a singer.
and your girlfriend's also a guitar player.
More of a ukulele player and a singer.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And how long have you guys been playing together?
3 months now.
3 months?
Around 3 months.
Gotcha. What would you say your repertoire is? Do you like doing covers? Are you making your own stuff, or?
I do more covers than I do originals, but I also dabble in the original stuff.
Okay, gotcha. Are you like is it a joint collab or?
I wrote most of my songs before I met her, but it's gonna happen. We're gonna write stuff
feel that.
together eventually.
I feel that. So where are you at in your point as a rising artist? Is your goal to really put yourself out on Spotify and make it big, or is your focus on maybe a different plane at your point right now?
My focus is well, of course, I want to get recognized for the things that I do, but making it big really it wasn't a huge thing for me. Music was always a release and whatnot, so it's more for me. But if other people get joy out of it, I got no argument.
I definitely get that, man. Well, where are you from, Chris?
I am
Why'd you do
from
that?
Blaine, Minnesota.
Blaine, Minnesota.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Oh yeah, I went to Blaine High School.
No, I actually I never went to a mainstream high school.
Never went to a mainstream high school.
No, I went to an alternative high school called Crossroads.
Tell me more.
It's a really small school, around 350 kids.
350 kids total in the
Total,
school, or your
yeah.
class?
Just total.
Just
We
total?
had about 40 kids in a not 40, about 20 kids in a class. It was a really small setting.
Okay. How many people did you graduate with?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
I never really paid attention to that. No, the main reason I went there is because my mom actually worked there for around 8 years before that.
Okay.
And I already knew all the teachers. I knew
Okay.
a bunch of the kids there. So it was just kind of easier to transition rather than going from a middle school to a giant 4,000 kid crowded school.
Gotcha. So you thought it was the right environment for you?
Yeah, it was a good transitioning point. And then I actually went to a music school called MSSPA for a while. And it wasn't the right setting for me there. So I went back to Crossroads.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yep, so then I graduated from there.
Cool. And when was that? How old are you now, Chris?
I'm 20.
20.
20. Yep. I was in MSSP in 10th grade, and I left at the beginning of 11th.
Gotcha.
So I went back to Crossroads.
Oh yeah. So what's your 2020 look like? What are you doing as a 20-year-old?
Oh, jeez. Just hanging out, really waiting for all this nonsense to end. Just trying to make it through, man.
Man, yeah, we're all there, man. Well, I guess so. How's your life different from say a year ago then?
A lot of different. I'm doing a lot of different jobs and more cover music. More.
Interesting.
I've had a lot more. Well, obviously, I've had a lot more time to sit around. So
True.
this gave me an opportunity to kind of really reflect and start making more stuff and getting more covers down, and eventually working and doing stuff like this. And of course, all the venues are closed. So I had a band. Well, I'm still in one. It was called Carry the Five.
Carry the five.
Carried the Five for a while, and then our drummer left, and yeah, something like that. And we changed it to the Tainted Saints. It's not really.
The Tainted Saints.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
not
kind
really,
of illiterate.
Yeah, it's not really confirmed there yet, but we're getting stuff out on an EP. We did a few shows. We did 3 shows, and then COVID hit and everything shut down.
What would you classify that in terms of a genre?
It's kind of like a blues rock kind of thing with a little bit of funk.
Okay.
So they were all originals. Well, we did a few Zeppelin covers and whatnot, but Other than that, it was all original stuff. We used to practice in a storage locker.
Really?
Yeah, it was this giant metal building. I swear to God, it sounded like the God of Thunder was breaking in every time we played. This tiny storage locker.
You performed in a storage locker.
That's where we practiced. That was our practice.
Oh,
area.
yeah, you practiced. Okay.
Yeah, so we rented it out a month at a time. We just carry all our stuff in there and just jam out until they closed.
I love that.
Yeah, it was super loud. It was a giant tin can.
What are some of your other favorite places you've performed? It can be practiced too, just like
Practiced.
like fun
It's
places.
a place called the Wet Barn, actually. It's in Wisconsin. It's a local guy named Bill
The Wet
Holmberg.
Barn.
Yeah, and he always throws these big parties, and 200 or 300 people show up. It's nuts, and it's a big stage, the whole venue kind of thing, and you get up there and you jam. He has performers come up, and he just had his 30th wedding anniversary, so he had a big party there, and
Nice.
yeah, that's probably my favorite place to
A
go and
wedding
play.
anniversary. You said it was pretty rowdy. Are those is that your ideal kind of stage? Do you want to play to a rowdy crowd, or are you down to get in like a suit and tie and get a little more formal with it too?
It can go either way. It depends on the crowd. So I'm always down for a rowdy crowd, though. Those are always a lot more fun.
Well, I'm glad that you said that. You play to the crowd. Has there been a point where you rolled up ready to just like shred it, looked at the crowd, and completely audibled? Be like, yeah, you're not I don't think you're ready for this, honestly.
First time me and Carrie the Five actually ever played, we showed up at the Acadia in Minneapolis, and it's like everybody was there, and they're all sitting down eating their burgers, and we're this rock blues band, and we're like, oh my God, they're not gonna be ready for this. So we started playing, and it's like, oh, these guys are all right, and then everybody starts getting into it.
That's good. You need that as a performer.
Oh yeah, especially when the crowd gets involved with it.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot more fun. We were singing "Whole Lot of Love." I think my girlfriend over here remembers this. Actually, her friend who said this. I didn't know her at the time, so it was kind of weird. We were singing "Whole Lot of Love," and "Woman, you need it." Somebody yells at the crowd, "Yeah!" And I just go, "Yeah, yeah!"
You love that. You love to hear that from the crowd. Something to go off of. Are we on Rick's Live right now?
Yes, we are live.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hello, Rick's Live.
That's right. That's what you get. It's showbiz.
Oh yeah.
We're playing off the crowd. You got to acknowledge them.
Just so you know, once we get into the music portion, I can promise you that we will have people from Texas and Mississippi and Michigan and Arkansas,
We've always wanted to perform for Arkansas.
yeah, Tennessee. We get some people that will tune in, guarantee it.
Sweet.
That's right. We know you're watching. We know this. We know at Prince
We know
Music
what's
Company.
happening.
There's people that are curious. Someone is gonna watch it.
Like, who's this
How
guy?
many? I think this is the portion where we like ask, do we care about that number? One thing I know is that people are curious, but should I get wrapped up in whether 10 people are stalking me as opposed to just like
course.
2?
Well, I know last week's show hit about 200 and almost 300 views.
300
Really?
views?
Yeah, last week's show.
The one with Louis?
Yep.
Yeah, well, Louis' a draw though. He's got a very charismatic aura.
What?
Like he brings people
just
to
draws
him.
people in.
He brought so many people to the studio last week that like we had to actually have the discussion of like, oh snap, COVID, like
Is somebody
with
gonna get in
COVID and
trouble
stuff,
for this?
Yeah,
Is
like
this
we
a
might actually
violation?
be at capacity in here. Like we do want people, walking in and looking at the system's fine selection of violins.
But you also don't want to get a code violation for so many people.
That's right. I mean, that was the first time it came to our
Came
to our attention.
Real. Got real.
We got you here this week, Chris, and I know that you're going to put on a hell of a show.
It'll be fun. I'm excited for it.
I did some checking, and I did some research, and you came with high standards for everybody I asked about. So.
For those not
afraid of who you
listening,
asked.
Rick has very high standards, and Chris is going to meet Rick's high standards, and that's really
Exceed.
exciting for me because it took me a while to get on Rick's good side. That's how it.
I can't imagine being on Rick's bad side. What's that like?
I mean, he said some real nasty things to me over the course of my career. Well, to fill you in, Chris, I was a pro wrestler for about 2.5 years, and quarantine shut it down. But yeah, I wasn't Rick's favorite. I was his favorite wrestler's least favorite wrestler. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Oh,
My favorite wrestler to heckle.
Oh, okay. I see what
Words
this is now.
words hurt. Yeah, no. I wasn't kayfabe. I wasn't
That's what I used to
bullshitting you.
do. We used to go to hockey. There was this team called the Maple Grove Energy,
Okay.
and me and my little brother would go there all the time, and I'd just yell at the goalie in between the little cracks. You'll never be the man your mother was. And he'd just look over at me like, the hell's this 10-year-old yelling at me?
You're letting him get in his head. Like,
No, it was fun.
for you, man.
It was a good time.
See, my band sponsors Midwest All-Star Wrestling. And so we would go to all the shows. And I and Ron Wolf, we'd go to the shows all the time. And we always got front row seats, so it was perfect for being mean to the wrestlers.
See, it's always fun being mean to people when they can't do anything. Okay, that sounds just terrible.
No, I mean it's true though. I feel like it's more important to be transparent than it is to be not mean.
Right. You gotta have both sides.
I feel like if I can just get the transparent selfish BS out of my mouth, the sooner the better. People will respect it, you know. I can we can go to being friends the sooner I can, you know,
the sooner I insult you,
the sooner I can hit you with
people.
the thing that's on my mind about you. Nothing to you. I don't know about that shirt. No, I'm just kidding.
It's my dad's shirt.
But yeah, but then you get past it. I mean, that's what I think about it. Are you where you draw the line between transparency and, you know, being liquid in a conversation?
Tell the truth, but don't be cruel.
Don't be cruel.
Don't be just there's a line you gotta have. I mean,
Yeah, true.
you can't just be absolutely
And cruel is the level.
cruel. Is the level of kind of that's just not even cool. That's not even funny. That's just mean.
Oh yeah, no. If they start with no offense, but it's not looking good. What you're saying is probably going to be near the cruel part of it. I'm thinking transparency down here, but well, you know, it's all about how you put your words, I guess.
Now you mean them.
You need the practice, maybe.
Choice of words, man. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
That's right. Trust the system. Chris, who are your musical inspirations?
Zeppelin. A lot of Zeppelin. Zeppelin, Whitesnake a lot.
Are they your number one? If
Yeah.
I asked a favorite band, Zeppelin.
Zeppelin, definitely.
Beautiful.
The Beatles, huge inspiration for me. Along with Whitesnake, Guns N' Roses, some of the harder rock
Yeah, it
stuff.
sounds more old school. Were those all introduced by your family, or how did you fall
Oh
into
yeah,
them?
my dad kind of shoved it down my. I really had no choice.
No, that's good, man.
No,
That's
but I'm
good.
glad
It's-
he did.
Those are your roots, then, man. That's
Yeah. I'm
it's,
glad I didn't kind of grow up on stuff today. I mean, some of the stuff's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when you go back to the 70s and 80s, you really get that up. It's really, I don't even know what the word is for it. Authentic.
yeah.
Really, it's from the soul. It seems like.
Here's what I've been thinking. You think that authenticity gets built over time, watching something 10, 20, 30 years out, the longer it gets, the harder it is, the easier it is to detect the BS. Or I mean,
Oh, yeah.
or maybe the authenticity gets magnified, the longer it withstands time.
You put it under a microscope and you can see what it's really made of.
Oh, that's cool, man. Because my dad was huge AWA wrestling fan, and I grew up on WWE and things like that. So a lot of my wrestling success or roots, it comes from my dad shoving that down my throat too.
What you grew up on, right?
Straight up. But I'm recently on this grind of kind of making more of a focus towards music, in this quarantine land we're living in right now.
It
when
seems
you
so long since it started now.
shoot, how long has it been?
It's almost been a year, I think.
8 months? Because it started in March,
Yes, it's damn near a full year.
and it's damn near November.
January?
Almost a full year, yeah.
March to November. I feel like that's a half a year.
It's
Eight
killing
months?
me. It's killing me.
It feels like a year. I get it.
It feels like 10.
Withdrawals.
And I mean, it's gonna be another year of this, man. That's my prediction. It's gonna be another year of just
2021 is going to tell 2020 to hold my beer and everything's going to go downhill.
The earliest
Yeah.
is what I've been told. June or July at the earliest.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot. There's especially with Governor Dayton, everyone shutting everything down again. People are thinking it's gonna go back to kind of how it started with March and April. But I feel like that initial shock couldn't be replicated. I feel like we're all kind of adapted
time,
to a
yeah.
certain point now, where even though we're shutting things back down again,
It's not going to be like a complete quarantine where you really can't do
Yeah.
anything. People are going to not get the checks and whatnot. I don't think it's going to go back to that.
yeah.
Something really bad would have to happen for that.
Living in that quarantine land, pursuing music, I feel like that's something we both have in common. What do you aim at in terms of getting yourself in front of new people? Is there certain studios you reach out to, or who are you reaching out to, and what are you working towards?
Believe it or not, Facebook Live. There's this thing called Quarantine Karaoke. And
Okay.
And you go on there and you just go live, and people just join. It's a whole Facebook group. I think I had 1,200 viewers total. Like, not at once, but like over the course of 2 hours, I just sit there with my guitar and play on my couch.
Really?
And people comment, "Oh, that's pretty good. It's wonderful." I get
So you in there and you're waiting your turn? Do you have to sign up beforehand, or is it just how do they funnel and so everyone's not singing at the same time?
no, it's not like a group chat. It's like a single, like just regular going live on your
Oh, okay, gotcha.
iPhone, but then you can add it to the group.
Oh, all right.
So you can go live in that group.
Oh, cool. So putting your live into a group that you got to do you have to be a part of it
Yeah,
first?
you gotta-
like accepted into it,
Yeah, we got to send a request out, and you got to answer a few questions, and
and then the admin lets you go on the page as
Yes.
live. Okay.
yeah, no, that's what I did a lot. I went on there. I
Like a
spent
bunch of
lot
different
time.
pages, or is that main page?
That's the main one. There's a bunch of knockoff ones, but that's the real deal one for me.
Gotcha. Is
So-
it? Do you get stage fright or Zoom fright? Is that what would be coined as?
Like right before I do it, I go like, "Oh crap, there's gonna be a lot of people on here." And then once I hit the first note, everything goes away. The same thing with any other time I perform. I get up on stage, I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna puke," and then I start singing, and everything goes away. It's just me and a band.
Were you always? Did you always consider yourself a singer, or was it a point of just loved music and then a flip turn on where it's like, oh, I want to do it?
It's kind of always been a thing for me.
Cool. You were singing as a child, singing in the shower growing up.
Oh, I still sing in the shower. Are you kidding me?
Classic.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, it's
still
always
working
been
on
that
it. Oh man, it's almost Christmas. Would you for Christmas? What do you think of like a guitar or a musical instrument as like a Christmas gift?
Guitars are always wonderful for me. I've always gotten a guitar for Christmas.
Is there other musical like things like a strap or something? Would that be considered a valid gift for you?
Definitely.
Christmas.
I got a strap and a stool and a mic and a music stand. All as one gift one year for things like this, smaller sets. So, yeah, they're definitely a valid gift. Something everybody needs. You don't think you need it until you need it.
I mean, it's a
It's
game
like
you can
socks.
play.
You don't know how much you need socks till you stop getting them for Christmas.
That's true. That's true. The value of a sock has gone up the older I get. Of a gifted sock.
Right.
I won't take of it. Like I feel like the value of a sock that I bought myself with my hard-earned money and a sock that was gifted to me doesn't follow the correlation of like maybe another thing, but like
Right.
same utility. I'll still wear them. Send me socks.
Don't send me socks. I don't want your socks. I'm sorry.
Well, if people do want musical items, I'm trying to think of a good place where they could get some musical instruments, but I'll keep looking around and maybe something will come to me here. So Chris, primetime collab, give it to me.
Oh, jeez. I got nothing right now.
You got nothing? Who's your favorite kind of like rock genre artist, kind of in the kind of in that Metallica or Led Zeppelin, bucket, like who's your modern rock bands that you like today?
Greta Van Fleet. They're
You say that again, I missed it.
Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet? Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah, I saw them a few times, and they're similar to Zeppelin. The singer sounds a lot like Robert.
Gotcha.
And but they're so electric live, and they have one studio album out. It's called Anthem of a Peaceful Army. They have an EP and then a demo, and I love them. They're great.
Awesome. Have you met him?
I want to though
You
so
want
bad. I mean, you see some interviews with them, they just seem like really down to earth people. Like you can kind of tell, like just like hearing people talk, it's like, oh, this guy's gonna be cool, or this guy's gonna be an absolute jerk. But these guys seem like they're really cool. They're all a little bit older than me too. They're all like 20, 22.
Gotcha. How, if I asked you how long you've been in the music industry or been doing music, would you say your whole life, or would you say that there's a moment that you started your
13.
musical career? 13?
And I really picked up the guitar for real at 13. Like really started playing it. Oh, it's time. Answer's 13. There we go.
Well, Chavo, I am going to play to your rules, man. Even though the system don't play by no rules, I'm going to play to your rules for now. Gonna make you think that I play by your rules until it becomes, I don't know, accepted that I play by the rules, and then we'll see what happens from there. Well, Chris, it was fun chopping up with you, man.
Yeah, it was a good
I'm gonna keep my eye on you, and I would love for you to trust the system, but leaving this podcast interview session today and showing us your mad skills. What do you want to leave the people with?
Keep playing music. That's it.
Keep playing music.
Keep playing music. Keep listening to it. It's medicine for your soul.
You can put that on a billboard, man.
Okay.
As I would say, let music guide your soul.
Ooh,
I'm sorry, I
let
thought I was
music
doing
guide
the
your
interview.
soul. Rick, we got to get you up on one of these interviews sometime too. System Sunday Showcase. That's our interview. We're here with Chris. Chris, do you market your last name, or you just want to be Chris?
I'm just Chris right now.
He's just Chris right now, but stay tuned.